Hi, I want to talk about these interviews where they are calling celebrities and giving them a challenge to eat the hot wings, okay? The spicy hot wings. And they are rated or they are appreciated based on how much heat they can take or how much of a spice level they can tolerate. They are appreciated on the basis of that. So why that happens, there's a psychology behind it, and why it was appreciated, there's a psychology behind it. And I really want you to hang in there because it's going to be a little longer. I tried to make a short video but I could not, so I hope you listen to the end. So what happens is, firstly, we are living in a male dominated society, right? There was some place, some country that was very fiercely dominated by men, that was very fierce in terms of practicality, in terms of logic, in terms of war tactics, in terms of sena army. So they invaded everybody and they obviously imposed their thought process in there. In some countries, in some regions, they were able to ingrain it into the people's minds, so that thought process has come down in those regions also and has come down through generations. But in other places that did not accept it or rebelled against it, a lot of the people died there, so very few people are left. But still they are alive and they are taking forward that balance. So for a society to live well in harmony, for a society to live in harmony, you are the society, you are a part of the society, you are the society. If you want to live in harmony, you need to have both your masculine and your feminine brains balanced. You have both energies, masculine and feminine energies. The masculine energy is action oriented, logic oriented, very practical, and the feminine energy is the intuitive energy, the emotional energy, or the creative energy. Unless you have balanced both, you will not be very happy with yourself. Let's say you want to work on a project, let's say you are into dance. Unless you're creative, unless you can emote, right, your action, no matter how much effort you put into it, it's not going to reach the person, it's not going to be able to convey the emotion, to convey the message that you wanted. Understand? The same way for every field of work you take it, it has to be the same way. You will see the people who have excelled have had the feminine energy balanced in them. Only then they have reached those laurels. A crazy passion, a crazy love for some kind of work, and then they've dived into that and they've created a whole different kind of thing in there. So you need to have it balanced. But we are male dominated, highly male dominated. And as a rebel, a lot of people have come up with feminism and other weird things, which is still not trying to balance it. It is trying to again push the feminine, like a seesaw, right? Like one goes down and the other tries to completely push up. There's no balance. But what is happening here is, why I'm talking about these energies, I'll tell you. Okay, let's say everybody as an individual has to face certain things in their life. We have to go through phases that will, that like literally, it's like peeling off the layers of yourself that are not required. So if you have to peel off that layer, you need to understand what the upper layer was. You need to understand why it is not required, and you need to be able to cut through it, cut through your own identity. How that will happen is through situations that are weird, through situations that are difficult, through situations that are not fun, not easy, not tolerable. You have to be in it, sit in it, and it puts you in a survival mode, because it's like a war with yourself, right? It's like a war that you have to fight, be it you were ready or not. You were ready, that's why it came up. But whatever, even if you're not ready, you have to fight it. So you put into that survival energy. Now that the war is done, and it happens for a long time, okay, it doesn't go off, like it'll at least stay with you minimum 2-3 years. For some it may stay for 4 years, 15 years, 20 years, I don't know. It depends on how much what they're doing and why they're doing it. But if you have been a good person, a sensible person, you will at least face it for 3 years at least. And then that sword that you had up for a very long time, now it needs to be put down. Now you need to heal yourself, now you need to be calm, now you need to cool down the heat that you had brought up. But what is happening is, also because you were fighting for so long and you did not get a break. You probably exhausted yourself and there was no break for you. What happened is you have taken up a lot of wounds, a lot of wounds, and all those wounds have created a tolerance, because only because you have faced those wounds, only because you have experienced that, you have so many wounds and you now can tolerate so much better. You have a higher pain tolerance than you had earlier. So has not if someone has not been at war, will not have high pain tolerance. Simple, right? Now what happened is, back then, let's say if majorly, if at, let's take it practically, okay, like literally like a war situation. If it was mostly men going at war and dealing with all those things, the only way that could make them forget the pain was eating spice. That is how your brain works. If your brain thinks that there's a lot of pain going on, emotional pain, physical pain, whatever kind of pain, and you eat a lot of spice, it means that your brain is asking you to work on that pain. But because you're not working on the pain, and it has to forget the pain so that it can give enough energy to other parts as well, because it has to give energy to every part of the body, it will try to, you will have cravings of eating spice, and you will eventually develop a higher tolerance for spice. So the thought that people who have a high pain tolerance, people who can eat a lot of spice, have high pain tolerance. So that is why they used to appreciate these people, because those who had a high tolerance to spice were accepted as those who are very strong, because you can only eat the level of spice that equates the level of pain you have been going through, be it emotional, mental, physical, whatever. But there's a huge but. This is not healing. This is trying to escape. This is trying to hide. This is trying to cover, like your belly is wounded. There's a big cut on your stomach, and you've just put on clothes on it, and you say it's fine. It's not fine. You have to stitch it up, right? You have to stitch it up, and it's going to take time to heal, and you're going to have to sit with that stitches, with that pain again. Even healing sometimes hurts you. But those people, because they did not have time for it, they could not heal themselves. And later, people never thought of this feminine aspect of healing themselves. They only thought putting on herbs on it and having the wound closed is that's it. But there's also a thing called trauma, right? It creates a trauma on your brain, on your mind, on your heart. You need to heal that also, and you need to have your emotions intact. You need to have that ability to process your emotions. You need to have that ability to understand what you're feeling, to understand why you felt that pain, why you felt that hurt, why you felt that devastated or scared in that situation. And now you're okay with it. Why is it? Or now that you've picked up some habits, what are those habits? Is it post traumatic stress disorder? Is it post trauma? How do you heal it? Because that can be healed as well, and not with medicines. It can be healed with, I mean, I don't know about medicines, let's not talk about it, but I think you can heal post trauma also by working on yourself, working on your emotions, by sitting with yourself, meditating, sitting quiet, doing breathing exercises, going into some kind of yogasanas with some really trained people. I have seen some Isha people doing really well. But this is what happens, right? So it is understood by people who can eat a lot of spice. I used to eat a lot of spice, a crazy amount of spice. I'm not saying that I've been through a lot of pain, but I'm saying that I used to eat a lot of spice, and now I have brought my levels down, and I don't like so much spice, honestly. I like to keep it out. I don't even like so much sweet. I do eat sweet, I do eat spice, but I have kind of balanced myself. So I think maybe I have begun working on my healing journey. And I think you should also do it. You should understand that spice tolerance is pain tolerance, but it is not healing. Spice tolerance is pain tolerance, but it is not healing. So heal yourself And it does not matter how much spice you can eat. It does not matter if you win in an interview. It does not matter if you win a show. It does not matter how much money you win out of that stupid game. What matters is how you feel. What matters is what you think about yourself. What matters is what your body thinks about you. Only that matters. Nothing else exists. It just doesn't exist. And it should not exist. In your view, in your world, you exist. And you decide what else exists. Right? Right? You are your own creator. You are your own destroyer. And you are your own preserver. You decide what exists. You decide what you destroy. And you decide what you preserve. And that is all you. So make yourself worthy of it. Not the boasty kind of worthy. A humble, honest, real worthy.